So, today we are discussing a hot topic, and I'm going to start this video off with just a quote. That's how we're going to open this video. In my experience, between 40 to 50 is the amount of games in which a player can perform in the highest level. After that, you drop because it is impossible to sustain the physical level. This year we can go 70, maybe 80, I don't know. It depends how far you go in the competitions. In my humble opinion, I think it is too much. I think we have to take care of ourselves. Someone has to take care of ourselves because we are the main characters of this sport or business or whatever you call it. Not everything is money and marketing, it is also the quality of the show. When I am not tired, I perform better, and if people want to see better football, then we need to rest. That is from your boy Rodri. Rodri obviously being one of the best players in the world, one of the most experienced players in the world as well, really at the moment at the very, very top level. He said that on the 17th of September, which I'm pretty sure that was a pre-match interview or pre-game interview for the Inter Milan game at the start of this season's Champions League. That was on the 17th of September. And then 5 days later, on the 22nd of December, when Man City are playing Arsenal, Rodri ruptures his ACL. I don't know if he ruptured it or he tore it. I'm not sure. Is a rupture and a tear the same thing? Who fucking knows? But he did damage to his ACL, which has now rendered the rest of his year and the rest of his season completely over. What a bittersweet irony. So, today, guess what we're talking about? Do professional football players play too many games? Yep, bang on. That's exactly what we're talking about. So, I kindly welcome you to the James Knows Nothing channel. Look around, get used to it. And without any further ado, you are going to watch a man who knows pretty much, like genuinely nothing at all, talk about something. That's it. So yeah, get ready for that. Also, shout out Jake, Billie, kids, shout you guys out. Yeah, shout. Okay, so I'm not really sure where to start with this argument because it is genuinely quite a complex, nuanced argument. There's a lot of different things. The bottom line for me personally is that football is now at the very top level. That's one good thing to establish, is I am talking about the very top level. To play 70 or 80 games in a season, you have to be playing for Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. You have to be playing for someone that is competing for Champions Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups, Premier Leagues, all at the same time. Yeah, so just to get that out of the way, we are talking about elite football clubs. If you're a fan of Oldham Athletic or fucking Barnsley, then this probably doesn't apply to your players. You know, maybe you play too many games as well, but I am exclusively, darling, talking about the top level. The bottom line for me is, yes, I agree. I think footballers do play far too many matches. And that is kind of what is required at the moment, but I just think that we can really refine, as fans, what we want to see. For example, UEFA and FIFA both restrict the amount of players in a squad throughout multiple competitions in Europe. UEFA and FIFA also decided to introduce the UEFA Nations League. They also decided to introduce a FIFA Club World Cup revamped new edition, which I don't know if you guys have seen it, which is now a 32-game competition played over a month of the season. This year it's going to be in the States, and it's essentially just an entire new tournament. That's not pre-season. That's not included as pre-season. That's a separate competition again. And again, obviously you have to qualify to compete in it, but those clubs that are competing in the FIFA Club World Cup will have won a lot already, implying they've already won a lot of games. I just find it ridiculous. And again, not to get all political or whatever, but when I was younger, I really thought that football was just made for me, right? Football was tailored for me as a young 14, 15-year-old. I loved the boots, I loved the players, I loved the kits, I loved the competitions, I loved the imagery, I loved everything about football. And it felt like it was almost like it was a film. It was scripted. It wasn't real. And now it's become so obviously a cash grab. Just the 14-year-old who fell in love with football can't ignore that anymore. Is that, you know, FIFA, the video game, I know it's not anymore, but and UEFA, the UEFA Champions League, they're shit. Not the game and the competition. The governing bodies are shit because they market themselves to care about football. They market themselves to be the elite football organisers of the world. FIFA, who organised the World Cup, the biggest sporting event that us as human beings have been able to put together. UEFA, the governing body of the Euros, of the Champions League, of the Conference League, of the Europa League, all these different competitions which have, you know, made so many memories. Look at West Ham winning the Conference League, you know, you look at Sevilla winning 3 Europa Leagues in a row, you look at the amount of teams that have had incredible Champions League campaigns. But guys, they're shit. Why have they introduced the UEFA Nations League? We don't need that competition, just make the competition you've got better. Why do we need a revamped FIFA Club World Cup. We've already got the Premier League, we've already got the Champions League, we've already got the Europa League, we've already got the Conference League, we've already got the World Cup, we've already got the Euros, we've already got the Copa America, we've already got the AFCON. We don't need any more competitions. Every fan from every country will have their domestic competitions that they love. Personally, it's a weird kink, I know, but I love the League Cup. Something about winning a trophy in February is so Britishly mundane. I love it. But competitions like the League Cup, competitions like the FA Cup, which has been around for since like 1817 or something. The FA Cup has been a competition. It is the oldest cup competition in world football. I'm pretty sure it's nearly the oldest, if not the oldest, competition in world football. And now the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, the pillars of English football, will naturally have to treat those competitions, which have got so much tradition and so much heritage, as second fiddle. It will be an under-23s cup in 15-20 years. And you know why that is? It's because the FIFA Club World Cup, which is in New York, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Francisco, New England, Boston, wherever, that gives them more exposure to American fans, which for them equal more money, because more people buying the shirts, more people buying into the franchise, more people following their Instagram accounts. It's more money for them, and it's complete and utter capitalism. It's complete commercial bullshit. And I know that this isn't necessarily linked to the amount of games that players play, but that is one small part of a wider problem of the complete globalization and capitalization of football, and commercialization specifically. And look at what happened. They tried to set up the Super League, it failed, and now look what's happening. The FIFA Club World Cup is now including all these clubs from different nations and playing a month-long tournament in every cup. There'll be one in America, there'll be one in Asia, there'll be one in the Middle East, there'll be one in Europe. But it's just, don't fall for their trap. Don't watch the Nations League. Don't watch, unless you're Bulgaria and you're going to win the Nations League and it's the only piece of silverware. I'm a Wales fan. If Wales get to the Nations League final, sure, I get that, because it's like giving smaller countries a platform to be like, look, we actually won something. But it's keeping the elite. It's awful, right? And again, I know that I'm not making a massive amount of coherent sense, or maybe I am. I'll see how well edited this is. That's enough about my rant about FIFA and UEFA. So essentially, we're talking about individuals here, aren't we? We're talking about how is Rodri as an individual, is his body being put under too much strain, too much pressure? Is he being expected to play too many games in a season? A normal campaign where, say, City get to a Champions League semi-finals, an FA Cup final, let's say they get knocked out of the League Cup early and then they win the Premier League, 50 or 60 games. That's standard. It's always been that way, really, with European competition and domestic cups. The top teams have always played around 50 to 60 games a season. Generally, I would say injuries aren't, like, you don't see ACL injuries every single week. You don't see, like, stress fractures all the time. I mean major. I don't mean, like, you know, always got a groin tear or whatever. I mean, like, major, out for 8-9 months. You don't see that every week. If the football schedule continues the way it is, then I think you will see it much more often. Again, going back to the commercial side of football, Rodri is a product. He needs to be sold. If they can get him on the pitch, then that's more eyes on Rodri. That promotes his brand, that promotes Man City's brand, it secures the brand. But there's this argument I've seen online quite a lot, and not just online, my friends say it as well. Well, they're paid £250,000 a week, so if I was paid that much, I'd run twice as hard as them. Man City have the best nutritionists, best physiotherapists, best recovery scientists, the best sleep scientists, the best every single aspect of Rodri's health is taken care of by one of the leading scientists in that field, or thereabouts. I'm being hyperbolic, but you know my point here. And he's still got a tear in his ACL. This idea that for some reason, if I got paid £1 billion a week, does that mean I could run 20 marathons a week? No, it doesn't. You're a human being. These are human beings we're talking about. Their bodies have limits. I'm not trying to be like elitist. I'm not trying to say like, oh well, they get paid more, but I'm not trying to defend the rich. They get paid an abhorrent amount of money, which I don't necessarily agree with. But being paid an awful lot of money it's not parallel to how strong your body is at all. Playing 90 minutes of football 80 times in 9 months is absurd. It's far too much in my opinion. And again, you guys may disagree with that. You may think that maybe it's not, but okay, maybe the idea that footballers going on strike is a bit extreme, because striking is normally, well, I don't know. They're incredibly privileged individuals, incredibly privileged athletes, but they are human beings like me, like you, like your mum, who have limits, right? The human body can only take so much physical strain before it'll start to malfunction, and that's what's happened with Rodri. To be fair, last season, I'm saying we don't see that many ACL injuries. I'm sure Madrid had like 3 or 4 ACL injuries in the space of like 2 weeks, so I've also got a cold. Before you think I'm on cocaine, I'm not. But I don't know. I think footballers can't really, or they don't really have the space to complain about anything because they're paid so much and they are just celebrities and they live in beautiful homes and have the best lives imaginable. But they have to fulfill their job. That's how they get paid. And if their job requires them to get injured, which is what's happened with Rodri, then so be it. You can't. He's injured. And another facet to this is, why have we got such limited squad sizes in terms of, like, if you're playing 80 games a season, surely they need bigger squads than they've got, because otherwise it's just like, I know we keep going back to Man City, but like, they need a bigger squad surely if Rodri has been injured and that's going to derail their entire season. I don't know. Personally, yeah, I don't see much of an argument. Like, I get the whole money, they get paid a lot, so therefore just fucking get on with it. But that doesn't make any sense because they're going to get injured, right? Like, okay, give him an extra 10 grand, he wouldn't have torn his ACL. Makes sense. Fucking idiots. But my point more being is that I think that, like I said, this is a wider argument that why are we letting UEFA and FIFA create these new tournaments which are so obviously, oh, we've got this UEFA frame league, we're gonna play in the countries which sell the most picture frames in the world, starting off in Singapore, making our way to New Delhi and finishing up in Oklahoma, because they're exposing themselves to international fans. They just want global dominance, they want everyone's money. Just fuck off. Let our players play in Europe, let them play the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Premier League, and maybe a Community Shield here and there. That's all we need. As fans, and I'm speaking for you here, and I know you won't like that because I know you, but you don't want to watch the FIFA Club World Cup. You've never sat down with your old man and said, let's watch the FIFA Club World Cup. You've never sat down with your mum and said, should we watch the Nations League tonight, or should we watch Corrie? These competitions need to be boycotted, abandoned, because it's not only putting players at risk, the players give as much of a shit as the fans, and it's sweet fuck all. And to be honest, that's all I've got to say on the matter. Get rid of the Nations League, get rid of the fucking the extended FIFA Club World Cup, review the Champions League, see if we can get a few less games in, increase the jeopardy. Let's get a bit more knockout football in, where it's just 2 games of let's play 47 group games and then fucking see where we are. Genuinely, to me, to you, don't watch the Nations League, don't watch the Club World Cup. That's the conclusion of this video. I'm gonna go and get another glass of wine. Have a good night. C'est la vie.